Hey there folks, and welcome back to the I Am CDB project. Of course, I'm your host CDB. You are not, and today we're going to do a shaving video with Soap Commander Respect, which you see here. It is lime and patchouli. Really excellent. It is a hard soap. It's very hard. I've had this for quite some time. It's very good stuff. I've lathered it up here in my timeless bowl, which I really like. I'm using the RazoRock 400 brush and the good old trusty Merkur 34C, which is an excellent razor that can be had at a good price. Let me go ahead and get some moisture here. We'll just get started. The Merkur 34C, of course, one of Busta's all-time favorites, and maybe his favorite. I get a lot of questions, or well, periodically, not a lot, about Busta and where he is and what he's doing, and he comments on stuff on Facebook every now and then, but he's not into the shaving video thing or anything like that. He is doing okay as far as I can tell, which is good. We of course miss Busta, and you never know about Busta. He says he's retired from making videos and from shaving stuff for good, but I don't really believe him. He'll be back someday, I believe. So if you happen to see him, and if you're at any of these meetups or on social media, just encourage him to come back and let us know how he's doing, make a video, have fun, if he wants to. But sometimes people get busy and they have a lot of things to do, or they just don't, if they're not having fun, doing these videos and things, there's no reason to do it. So he was not, I guess, enjoying himself. Now, he didn't say this. This is, I'm speculating. Too busy, not enjoying himself. And so he's doing what he feels is right and the best thing for his situation. And that's great. We ought to all just support that. And I certainly do. Although I must say I do miss, having fun with Busta and being competitive with Busta and so forth. I tell you what, this Merkur 34C and this Astro Blade just feels like it was meant, or they were meant for each other, I should say. Really nice. And again, this is the new labeling on the Astro Blade that I showed you yesterday. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. I'm not noticing any difference in this blade at all. It feels just like every other Astra that I've used, like I said yesterday. Very smooth, very consistent, and that's what I like in a blade. I like consistency and smoothness above all. I want to know exactly what to expect, and I just don't want it to be rough. That's the main thing, because you don't want your safety razor blade to feel like an old cart that you've stretched for 2 weeks, like most of us used to do back in the days when we used a lot of carts for face shaving. Now, that said, as you know, recently, or once I started shaving my head, I tried carts on my face and found that they work just fine if you use a fresh blade. Now, some folks can't really tolerate a multi-blade, one of those 3, 4, 5 blade gizmos. Some people really do better with the single blade. The other blades pull and tug at their tough beards and so forth. And so I get that. But I found that they work okay for me, as long as you use a fresh blade. But 99% of the time, or 98% of the time, I use a safety razor on my face, and I use a cart mostly on the dome, because it's just what I like using on my head. Just easy, feels nice, smooth. A DE, it's much easier to cut yourself when you're going over bumps and imperfections in your head, in my view. I must tell you, this soap is excellent. It's one of my favorite soaps. It performs well, and it comes from great people. And of course, I talk about them every time I use their products. Really nice, salt of the earth people. Darren and Carrie Seibert and family, I might add. The whole family gets in on the act, and they're wonderful people living down in Alabama. So it's a pleasure to use their products. They're very good folks. All right, Here we go, pass number 2. Really, really nice. This feels nice and smooth, which is exactly what you want in a shave, or at least it's what I want. So last evening, I went out with some friends, went over to their house. They have a pool. We got in the pool a little bit and had a wonderful time. And so, as I mentioned in my video yesterday, I've been really enjoying reconnecting with friends and being more active and going out and doing things. You know, you only have this one life to live, so you might as well get out and try to enjoy it. As I said yesterday, I have a tendency to sometimes silo and become a homebody who just wants to stay home. And so I made a concerted effort to get out and do more things, and I have really been enjoying doing so. And I attribute part of that to the fact that I feel better having lost all the weight. I just didn't feel like doing much when I was, you know, grossly overweight, 100 pounds overweight. Now that I've lost that, I feel like doing more stuff, more sociable. I spend less time on social media. I do look at it some, you know, a couple times a day, but I don't spend nearly as much time. And I think that is good. You know, I'll post what I'm doing and so forth, or if I'm having a good time, and sharing that. And part of the reason you do that is not so everybody else sees what you're doing, but so also you can remember it. You can reflect back and look on your timeline and go, oh yeah, this is that time we went here or there, and you can go back and look at your photos. And in fact, I had noticed, I don't know if it was 3 or 4 years ago, I think it was in June or July, met up with some good friends in Chicago, Zach Pliveritis and Tom Brim, stayed at Tom Brim's house. And some pictures popped up in my timeline the other day from that time, which I had a wonderful time with those two great guys. But there were pictures of me then 100 pounds heavier, and I was like, whew. So it was nice to reflect on the time that I had there in Chicago and meeting some of the, you know, wet shavers at a meetup and all that kind of stuff. And, but boy, I also saw the picture and I was like, wow, boy, I look completely different. You wouldn't recognize me. If I walked into that same place today, the people wouldn't recognize me unless they've been keeping up with the videos, the recent videos. But anyway, the point I was getting around to is I saw that and it just made me reflect. And that's part of the reason I think people use social media to sort of capture those times. And so you can, you know, go back, and Facebook but does a pretty good job of, it'll say 1 year ago, 5 years ago. And sometimes that can be bad because it can remind you of things that happened in your past that maybe wasn't so swell, or big changes that have come about, positive and negative. And sometimes it can be wonderful. So I think that's part of the reason why I use it, and or post if I'm doing something nice. I want to try to remember that. And I want to continue to create memories such as that, because I think the last number of years, probably the last 3 or 4 years, I've been sort of in a rut, not doing a lot. And so being more active and, you know, reconnecting with people has been very positive for me. So if you find yourself in a rut, you know, try to reconnect with some people that you like and trust, and of course, if your health is not where you want it to be, maybe work to improve that and see if it doesn't make a difference. It certainly made a difference for me. I feel a lot better, a lot happier, and I spend a lot less time just sitting around. Of course, I'm more active in the summer generally. I did do a lot of yard work, even in the previous years. In my last home, it was just it was a lot to keep up with, and so I did it, and I worked outside all the time. I don't have nearly as much to do here, but I still try to get outside and if nothing else, sit out on the deck and enjoy a nice beverage, you know, be it an adult beverage or otherwise. And I wanted to speak on that, and I'll speak on that as I'm just touching up here. I'm one of these people, regardless of what it is, like using this razor here, this Merkur 34C. It's not fancy, it's very common, but it does a great job. And so when I'm, say having a beer, I'm not a beer snob. I do not need all this craft, what I call skunky beer. When I'm outside in particular, I want something light and refreshing. And now the move is, among beer enthusiasts, is to poo-poo anything that isn't a craft or IPA. And I get that, I do. And they're sort of treating it like it's Scotch or bourbon, in that if you don't have a certain level, it's lowbrow and all the rest. But here's what I would say to those people. Look, whiskey and bourbon takes a long time to make. Excuse me, whiskey is bourbon. Scotch and bourbon. In particular, Scotch, pretty much the minimum to make a single malt Scotch, the minimum time in a cask is 10 years. It takes a long time to achieve that flavor. It's a long process. This is not the case with beer. Beer is made relatively quickly and sold relatively quickly, and it has a shelf life. So these fancy beers, it's not the same as Scotch or fine bourbon, where that takes years to make, and it's an expensive process. So all these craft beers and stuff, in my view, they don't do anything whatsoever for me. I'm not knocking them. If you like them, I'm just saying, don't look down your nose at people who drink domestic beer or whatever it is. It's all about what they like, in the same way that shave gear is what you like. I take the same approach. I love this stuff because it's a great value and it works well. There are some people who would look at artisan soaps and go, oh, that only costs $10, $12, $15. It's not like my Martin de Condre, which cost $70. By the way, magic made by witches, theirs. And so they sort of look down on it. And I see the same thing happening with beer and so forth. And it's like, just allow people to enjoy what they enjoy. If they enjoy Michelob, or if they enjoy Miller Lite, or whatever, if they enjoy it, that's fine. There's no need to make a snarky comment, oh, that's swill and all this and that. Come on. It's the same thing as the people running around saying you must have a $70, $80 shaving soap. I don't really respect that. Now, I respect that they like it. I think it's just fine, but when they come out and go, your stuff is crap, you have to have an $80 soap instead of this, I say no. I don't take that seriously. And I don't take the folks who are all uppity about beer, which is an inexpensive beverage. It's not whiskey. It's not 18, 20-year-old Scotch whiskey. Come on, people. Stop treating it like it's an 18 or 20-year-old Scotch whiskey. It is not the same. It's not in the same realm. It's nothing similar. So don't look down your nose at people. Allow them to have some enjoyment. And you can simply say, hey, that's not for me, but I like this or that. That's having a conversation that's being decent, but going, oh, that is crap, it's domestic. And it's like, come on. Same type of people who will only use Aqua de Parma and look down on everybody else. I don't respect that, quite frankly. All right, let's talk a little bit about the shave. He used Soap Commander Respect, which is excellent. It did a fantastic job. I used the Merkur 34C with the Astra blade. The new style blade with the new labeling, it worked just fine. I have noticed no difference whatsoever. Of course, my I think this was like $11, $12 Thomas bowl, which is phenomenal. Really nice ridges in there. The RazoRock 400 brush, again, all this stuff is inexpensive, and it works just as well as the most expensive stuff that I have and the most expensive stuff that I have tried. I am telling you, folks, from my perspective, it's nothing but a waste of money to put down money on fancy products. They're not going to do that much more than this, if anything, and sometimes less. Now, if you like it and you just want that fancy packaging and fancy whatever, that's okay. But for those of you who are value-minded, you're not getting anything extra. I'm just telling you, people don't like it. People get angry when I say it. But I have used enough products to know that in my case, they do nothing. They do absolutely nothing that this will not do. $400 razors do nothing that this won't do. Now, you can enjoy the craftsmanship, you can enjoy scents. There are reasons to buy more pricey things. But on the basis of performance alone, especially when it comes to software, don't be hoodwinked. Don't be hoodwinked. And we're going to close it off with another value aftershave, the Pinaud Lime Sec, because we got the lime thing going. And I'll also follow it up with the Rare Balm. I don't use a lot of balms, but I'll show you one of my favorite balms, which is Soap Commander Respect. This is, again, the lime and patchouli. Soap Commander balms I like because they are not greasy. They go on and they feel nice. They dry quickly. And plus, I like the folks who make it. So there you have it. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining me once again. I'm going to jump into a head shave and get that out of the way. I don't think I'll record it today, but I'll go ahead and get a head shave and hopefully get outside and enjoy the wonderful sunshine. I hope it's sunny where you all are today. And until next time, I've been your host, CDB. You're not. God bless.